So we're talking about lawns in the backyard, and a lot of times you'll have all sorts of different kinds of spots, and you may not be exactly sure what they are. Some of these spots that you're going to see, those are going to be dog spots. It's something we're going to have to patch up all the time. But you also might have some fungal issues in your yard. Sometimes if you get right on the edge between the green grass and the brown grass, and you take a close look at those blades, you can see that the top of the blades will be pinched and white, or you might even see what looks like cigar burns or cigarette burns along the blades. Those are going to indicate you probably also have a fungal issue. So what you're going to want to do is just rough up the areas, just do a little bit of cross hatching, just get it nice and loosened up. Throw a little bit of seed right on top of there, get it covered up, and keep those areas moist. But what's also incredibly crucial with a late fall comes winterization. You're going to want to mow the lawn. You don't need to mow it short, and if you have leaves on there, mow right over the top of them. It'll actually help the lawn itself by putting some of that nitrogen right back into the soil. And that winterizer, it's one of the most important fertilizations you can do all season long. We're also going to talk about ways that you can extend the season of your vegetable plants right in your own backyard. Gardening in Colorado sometimes can be a little bit challenging. We don't have the longest growing season, but there are ways to get around that. There's a new product on the market called a planket, not a blanket, a planket. And basically what it does is it helps you insulate all of your plants to help extend the season. Now to show you how this is done, I'm going to bring in my personal assistant, my own personal Vanna. Hi, Keith.
Hello.
So it's really quite easy to do. You might need an extra set of hands just so you don't smush the plant. But all you're going to do is simply drape the planket right over the top of the tomato. You're just going to cinch it at the bottom as much as you can. But this insulating blanket will help you extend your season. But these are only available online, and you know, being the hip gardening people that we are, you can go to our website, digincolorado.com, and we will link you directly to these folks so you too can have a planket in your own backyard. What else is on our to-do list?
And one of the things to help extend the life of your pots, your decorative garden pots, especially ceramics, is to winterize them and get them ready for the cold weather that's coming up. And we're going to go over how to do that. The winter season can be particularly hard on your decorative garden pots, especially ceramics. And ceramics are probably the most expensive pots you can buy, so you really want to take care of them. I would empty out all the soil from your ceramic pots. And if it's fairly new potting soil, just go ahead and dump it in a bucket or a bin that you can reuse next year. With plastic pots, fiberglass, wood, that sort of thing, anything other than ceramic, I would just take the plants out and leave the pots where they are. You don't need to remove the soil. We need to go and look at some of the perennial plants, and we're going to go visit Cougar Mountain, is what Arlo likes to call it. The garden that we planted earlier in the season at Sarah's house along the driveway, we're going to go revisit that garden and look and see what needs to be done there to get it ready for winter. Hey, well, look at you. You've already got a head start on me.
I am. You know, we put in this beautiful garden in the spring, but now it's time to put it to bed.
Exactly, and you can see some of the things that are needed here, like maybe removing some weeds, or in this case, aspen suckers.
Right, just cleaning up the bed.
Now, another way to keep it clean is to prune things back that have finished blooming. And this is one of those plants right here. This is a foxtail lily. There's no plant left here at all, but the old stalk is still there. You want to get rid of it. This will come back in the spring, so I like to leave a little bit of a stub so I know that it's still there next year when I go around to play in the garden. Now, the other thing I like to always do is to go through, I have my little bucket of mulch here, is to go through and replace mulch in areas that have washed away, or maybe your night crawlers or what have you have eaten the mulch and taken it underground. And last but not least, the winter watering.
It is so incredibly important. People think that because it's winter, plants don't need moisture.
Au contraire, they do. They need lots of moisture during the winter, especially a new garden like this one that isn't quite established. It'll be another full growing season before these plants are really well established and can take any dry time.
Well, and please remember, it takes 12 inches of snow to equal 1 inch of rain, and we don't get that much snow in the wintertime that you would think that you don't have to. Just make sure after you water the garden, you disconnect the hose. I hear you have a garden full of rock, and we're headed to your house to check it out.
Yeah, we're going to go see how to bring plants in for the winter, to winter over indoors, and maybe even winter some perennial plants in pots, which is not an easy thing to do here.
Howdy, this is Chef Mick from Tony's Market. Stick around, we're going to make grilled pork tenderloin with watermelon salsa.